Hello and welcome to the first Access Chat of 2025. Delighted to be back. It's been a long and restful break for me. At least I'm still actually living it up in Thailand at the moment, working very remotely. We're recording this at the beginning of January, and it's going to be an eventful year. 2025, Year of the Snake. It's also going to be a big year for accessibility because you've got the European Accessibility Act coming in. So if you don't do accessibility, the snake's going to come and bite.
Yes.
So, but also seriously, there's going to be some stuff that we're going to be doing with Access Chat that going to change. We for a long time have been running the chat on Twitter. Twitter has become so polarized, so toxic. It's owned by someone that is promoting fascism. It doesn't align with our values. So we've taken the decision that we want to run the chat part of Access Chat, which we've been wanting to maintain and been trying to maintain on Twitter, X, whatever. And we're going to move this to Bluesky. So why Bluesky? Well, Bluesky has the same kind of interaction model as Twitter did. Old Twitter, that is, not X, which means that we can do our Q&A and we can have interactions. And in fact, a lot of the accessibility community and the Access Chat community are starting to move to Bluesky. So, yes, it's a smaller platform. Yes, we have less followers, but the interaction and the ability to talk with each other is far greater because Bluesky is done in such a way that there isn't a billionaire controlling the algorithm. There's no one there suppressing leads. There's no one there making decisions about what has priority. In fact, it's the users that have priority as to what they see because you can create your own algorithms on Bluesky. So there may be a slight transition period, but I think that with the way that Twitter has gone, we can't in all good conscience stay on a platform where the owner of that platform is using that platform to promote extremism. So how? If you don't use Bluesky, how do you get on there? What do you need to do? How can you connect with us? And maybe, Antonio, you've been on the platform the longest. You're our biggest social media expert. Maybe you can tell us a bit more about the platform and ways that you can rebuild. Because, frankly, I was reticent to move because I'd spent years building up my network and my connections and everything else. But it's possible.
Well, I started by looking at people that were already on my network. And the easiest way to find people that I want to connect was to look at followers of people that I'm already connected with. So I went to the people that they follow and follow them. And then I discovered some people that have been connected to me through the years. So I think that will be probably an easy step. If you connect with us and look at the people that follow us, you are going to find a common connections. And I think that will be a start. And we know that our friend Andy Imperato is already doing Follow Fridays, so on Bluesky. So it's also a nice way to meet people. No, it's very similar, but allows you a personalization and creating allows you to create feeds around a specific hashtag. So there are groups out there already who create feeds on focus on accessibility. If you are able to search for the hashtag access chat, you are able to find a feed. So I think it's the level of personalization is higher. So and I don't think you're going to find a big difference in relation to Twitter like you did when you were trying Mastodon or you were trying other social networks. I think the similarities are higher. Of course, something is almost like you are going to face something in terms of the change that you were not using in the past is now you have a timeline that is not as algorithm as you used to. So it's more so, and sometimes people are not used to that anymore. So you need to get used to that type of timeline again, and then you are able to somehow build your own timeline. And within the app, you are going to have different sections where you are able to follow different topics, different times. So you are able to browse across topics. And that gives you a little bit more of freedom to connect with people that you are not connected yet.
And I want to wish everybody Happy New Year from the United States. And prayers always welcome from my beautiful country. As Neil said when we started getting on, he put his hands over his chest and said, brace, brace. Anyway, so Happy New Year, everyone. Antonio, just asking you, well, first of all, I want to say also, Neil, something that's very exciting about 2025, Neil and Antonio. This is the year of inclusion. The UAE has made this the year of inclusion. Last year in the UAE, every year they have a year of something. Last year's was the year of tolerance. And tolerance is a good word, especially in these intense times. But inclusion is a better word, we think. So this is the year of inclusion in the UAE. So this is our year. This is our year. This is our year. So, but I also want to say another reason why we are switching to Bluesky is because a lot of the people that were in our community left Twitter because of a lot of the reasons why, Neil talked about already. And so the chat part, which was always so powerful for Access Chat, it's really been minimized and it's degraded. And we have some beautiful souls that are out there every single week. And we appreciate them. And we're hoping they will move over to Bluesky with us. But as Antonio has said, and Neil as well, a lot of the accessibility and disability inclusion field has already moved to Bluesky and is really encouraging us to come over there because Twitter X, it's just become a very political platform. It just has. And so it's very easy for conversations to get really muffled and lost in that. And I have a really large following on Twitter, but do I really? Because I don't know where there's just so much. You don't even know what it is anymore. So that's why I personally spend so much time on LinkedIn because I just want to be about the work. So I'm really glad that we're taking this step, but I want to say to the audience that I'm going to be I'm a weak link because I don't know what to do. Antonio's walking me through it and Neil's telling me what to do, but I'm committed to it because I really miss our community being able to chat and talk and really discuss these things. It's hard to with all that chatter and confusion over there on X.
And something that has been a challenge over the last few years is trying to find a social network where the owners or those who manage it have a kind of a neutral position in relation to the platform that they manage. We know that Twitter is no longer neutral, or X. Threads is not neutral. Just a few days ago, Meta is releasing AI profiles on Instagram, completely auto-generated. So when we expect these platforms to be more human-like, their owners are doing the opposite. And I feel that at this stage, if you're looking for a kind of a human-like social network, Bluesky is the place to be and be active. It's otherwise we know that LinkedIn is also a nice place to be. But,
I love LinkedIn.
But it is a different style of network.
It is. And it's not really set up to do it it is, but it's not. And also we're limited. Yeah, because I love LinkedIn.
LinkedIn certainly has become a place that I spent a lot more time on since Musk took over Twitter X. But it doesn't have the immediacy of the conversation.
Right.
It's a different type of platform.
Right. It's not.
No, it's not.
Right. So let's all use LinkedIn, but
yeah. So I'm not suggesting that we don't use LinkedIn. We could leverage LinkedIn, absolutely. But for those immediate conversations that we used to have that were so powerful for a number of years, this is basically the same kind of platform. It works in the same kind of way. It's not ruled by someone else's algorithm. You can create your own algorithms.
Is it owned by a billionaire?
So it was set up by Jack Dorsey.
I like Jack.
Twitter.
I like Jack.
Well, Jack's interesting.
I don't know him, but I've got a good impression of him.
also in that little bubble of San Francisco, people that have gone a little bit weird, because I think the microdoses have got more and more macro over time.
We need them. We need our doses. We do. It's scary. It's
But in
scary.
this particular case, the whole point was to have something that wasn't centrally controlled and
Yeah.
that your data would be portable. And so you can configure it. The team that creates Bluesky, there is venture capital investment, but there's a difference between the app and the protocol, because the protocol is the thing that allows you to interact. And so you could actually build your own client and interact, and it can actually, they're looking to connect other things like Mastodon and other social networks. So it has a great deal of potential. And now that it's starting to gain a critical mass, I think that, the conversations are starting to get better. We've mentioned already Andy Imperato. We have another good friend of
that we
chat,
love.
and that's Mike Giffen. And Mike has pretty much abandoned X Twitter, and he's already started an Access Chat starter pack. Because this is the thing, they know that people are coming over. They know that they want to interact with their old Twitter groups and followings and so on. So they have these things called starter packs, and you can find a starter pack. So you can go search for the Access Chat starter pack, and you'll find a lot of the people that have been engaged with or guests on Access Chat over the years. So it's a good way to get on the platform and find some of your old friends. And then there are other starter packs out there, sociology or, ancient history or gardening, all topics that I follow and enjoy. And so there's ways to start building up. And actually, what you want really at the beginning is to follow loads of people, because I think the thing that Antonio was alluding to with the algorithm is, because you're not being fed stuff by an algorithm, it feels a bit slow at first. So if you don't follow tons of people, you're not getting fresh new content.
Okay,
so
good.
Just go out there, follow loads of people. Eventually, that if you're posting good stuff, they're going to follow you back. And then there is this other thing, which is a really useful thing, and it's Sky Follower Bridge. And Sky Follower Bridge is actually been developed by a hobby developer, and it allows you to log into Twitter, find your followers, and it then tries to examine and see whether or not there are accounts that look like there are matches on Bluesky, and then you can auto follow them. Now, it can be a bit hit and miss, because if someone has a common name, it might pick the wrong one, because the username might be the same. So I'm following the wrong Caroline Casey, because Caroline Casey, founder of Valuable 500, I was following her on Twitter. Yeah, she's not yet there on Bluesky. So I'm following the wrong one, because I was a little lazy when it came to sense checking 3,000 different accounts, and I let it slide. But hey, I've made a new friend called Caroline Casey.
Absolutely.
So I think that's another really useful tool, so that you can start really starting to get value again. So it's not necessarily all about the numbers in terms of vanity metrics.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
You don't need thousands and thousands of followers to have a good experience, but you do need to follow enough people that are posting for it to be valuable. But what we are seeing as well is that the news is starting to break on the platform as well, like it used to do on Twitter previously. So when there were important events happening over the Christmas period, they were actually starting to break on Bluesky Network. So I'm pretty excited about the fact that we're going to see that kind of powerful thing, because again, that starts driving good quality content and informational accounts onto the platform as well.
And they created it's still in beta. They created a trends dashboard where you're able to go and look for trends. So they are looking into that. So we are able to follow what is trending in and I'm sure they will extend that you can follow if you want. You can check the trends happening in different parts of the world. And Also, something that I spotted at the end of last year is that many organizations were organizing events. You're able to see some people already trying to bring that kind of events happening back to Bluesky, where they're able to host conversations. There was a very interesting conversation, conference in Australia, and they were using Bluesky in order to share what is happening at that developer conference. So in this case, I actually seen a lot of people from Australia very committed to the platform and trying to bring that things that we actually missed, because Twitter was a great place to find ongoing news about conferences, and we lost that. Mm-hmm. And hopefully we're able to see that knowledge and information now on Bluesky.
All right. So we're going to stop talking about Bluesky now. We're not going to make this a Bluesky commercial. But what we're going to say is we are going to make sure that our community knows how to join us on Bluesky. And so, as I said, I signed up for Bluesky right away, and then I didn't use it. Neil was the same way. We also took time to get to the right platform, because I was nagging right away. I was nagging saying, let's leave X, let's leave Twitter. And they're like, no. And so we took the time to see which platform would play out. And what we found after a lot of investigation and from friends like Mike Gifford, we realized, and Antonio was an important part of the decision too, but we realized this was the right thing to do. So I know a lot of our audience doesn't do the chat anyway. You're following us on a podcast or the video, and we're very grateful for that. We're also very grateful for Amazon, MyClearText for sponsoring us. But everything's going to be the same, except we're just going to do our chat on Bluesky. And we're going to go out into our website. Give us time. This is volunteer. We're all volunteers here. But we'll go out and we'll make sure that it's reflected on the website. And we'll tell you on the website some of the tools we're figuring out, because we want you also to be successful there. We understand we must convene. We know that. Access Chat is what we're in our 11th year now. So our goal is continuing to use these conversations in a way to have positive change for the world. That's why we're making these changes. But if anyone listening to this is concerned about this change and you want some help, just send us a little message. We will definitely help you. I'll send the message to Antonio. No, you can send it to any of us. And if I don't know it or Neil doesn't know it, we'll ask Antonio or Mike. As we transition, it used to be, we were the largest tweet chat on Twitter for years. So we've lost a lot of the audience during the chat. That's why we're going to move over to Bluesky. But I'll be learning it along with you. We'll continue to put stuff out on Twitter so that people know we're making the shift. So we're excited, and I'm a little like, oh gosh, I got to learn this now. But that's okay. We're going to learn it together, right, guys?
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't have to interact with us, but being part of the community has always been part of the joy, part of the learning. So the guests that we've had, the hundreds of guests that we've had over the last decade, have been a key part of my learning, my journey. It's been really an important part of my professional and personal development. It's been a privilege to meet so many people, but also the people that then participate in the chats have been a huge part of my journey. And I've made loads of friends over the years, loads of connections. So social media is an important part of the and tool for the disability community to organize and get stuff done, share ideas, share best practice, and really connect. And that connection was weakened over the last couple of years. So we needed to, as Debra says, sort of evaluate where we wanted to go. And it wasn't obvious, because there were lots of candidates in the beginning, but really it becoming clear which way things are going. There's a critical mass within a particular platform, and we're going to try
making it better.
Rekindle that excitement that's definitely there. And I think there is some excitement amongst the people that are on the platform. So as Debra says, it's not an advert. It's not an advert for the particular platform.
We don't know yet.
It's absolutely no. But it is, I think, time for us to explore that particular avenue, because we have to close the door after a decade on the history of where we held our chats previously because of what's gone on that platform.
And I would also say, I think that, because that's what I'm finding is I'm starting to play with it. Those of you that were on Twitter and love Twitter, you're going to like Bluesky. And you can do the same thing on Bluesky we used to do on Twitter. If you want to follow people that are involved with accessibility, go and follow Antonio and look and see who he's following. Go and follow Neil. Go and follow me, even though I'm not doing it yet, but I'm working on it. I mean, I am out there, Debra Root. We can follow by doing a lot of the same things we did on Twitter. I mean, so that part feels almost like we'll get to come home. And I know you've been doing it for the last couple of weeks, Neil. And that's what you said when you first got on. You were like, wow, it's sort of fun being out there again.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. It feels kind of familiar.
Yeah.
A little bit
So
clunky,
I like that.
but
that.
kind of familiar and like rediscovering an old friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So look, I think here's to 2025, whatever it may bring. It's going to be an eventful year for sure. We know that. Buckle up, folks, and enjoy the ride.
Yeah. A lot of good's going to happen too. When a lot of bad happens, a lot of good happens. And we're the servant leaders. We're all of us, this community, we're about moving forward. So we got
absolutely. We're here to give people a voice and to keep that community together. Thanks to our friends and our sponsors, Amazon and MyClearText, for supporting us and keeping us accessible. And here's to 2025. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.